everyone. Good morning, good day, good evening. How are you? How is everyone? Today is Saturday. It's the weekend. Hello, hello. Good morning, good evening, good day. How are you? How's the weekend going? What's going on? Retouch on. Retouch off. I had some time today, so I thought to come live again because yesterday's live was a great session. So I thought to come live again today because I have free time on my hands today, which I usually do not get. So I thought to utilize my free time to talk to you guys. What's going on? Good morning, good day, good evening. It's the weekend. I hope you're enjoying your Saturday, everyone. Wow, I see many people joining. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. Since I had a little free time on my hands today, I thought to discuss, um, you know, stuff about having a routine and how to make a routine. And this topic is very much related to how to become productive in life. A lot of people have asked me this question, and so I thought that we can talk about this today in our live. So I would really love to hear from you all about your thoughts on routine. Like, do you have a routine, or do you want to follow a routine? Do you aspire to have a routine in life? And if you already do have it, I would really love to know about your daily routine. And if you are someone who wants to create a routine, a productive routine, what are the challenges that you're facing to create that routine? And I'll see if I can answer your questions or help you overcome those challenges. So, yeah, that's what I thought to do today since I am free, which is not the usual stuff in my life. How is everybody? How is your weekend? Do you have any Sunday plans or any Saturday plans? I came back from the gym like 1 hour ago, and then I had a shower. And I just came out of the shower. How is everybody doing? How is your Saturday going? Oh, wait. Chat filter, all messages. Okay. So the topic for today's live is the importance of routines in your daily life and how to build a good and a productive routine. So I thought to talk about this in my live today because a lot of people have approached me asking how we can create a good routine for ourselves, a routine that is productive. And I think I have made a video on this as well. But I thought to, just discuss about this today in our live. For me personally, routines are very important. In my early 20s, I used to be a person who didn't really believe in routines. I was a very go with the flow kind of person. I'll go wherever life takes me, and um, we'll see what happens, and we'll go with the flow, stuff like that. But then it did not bode very well for me. So, yeah, I found that routines are like really important. Hello, hello. Hello, everyone who's joining right now. How is everybody? Hello, hello. How are you doing? How is your Saturday going? The first 15 to 20 minutes of a live are like very tricky to navigate because sometimes there are people and sometimes there is no one in the live, and it just becomes like me talking to myself on the camera. But yeah, after 20-30 minutes, like, people start joining and people stay, and it's after like 20 to 30 minutes that a live really becomes a conversation, like, especially for me at this point, because I don't really have like a lot of subscribers and I don't get a lot of audience for now on my channel, even on my lives. So it's tricky for me to navigate. And so, yeah, if you're watching this live after it has ended, um, uh, the first 15-20 minutes are going to be very random. Anyway, talking about routines. So, for me personally, I find routines to be very, very important. I know I used to be a person who did not believe in the power of a good routine, but now that I have, a routine, now that I follow a routine, it feels very stable. um, it like life feels more systematic in a way, and I like that. I like that level of um, you know productivity in my life that I have now because of a routine. I it gives me a sense of control over my life having a routine, and so I love that sense of control that I have over my life now. And yeah, it makes me more productive, and I really love that about a routine. um, and so yeah, I personally find it to be like a good thing. I find it much better than the going with the flow strategy of life. Um, but this is just my own personal opinion, and I would really love to know yours through the chat or in the comments. If you're watching this after it has ended, I would really love to know what is your take on having a routine, and if you're facing any difficulties establishing a productive routine, what are the challenges that you face? Maybe I I can help in that regard. So yeah, I would really love to know. Hello everyone. Thank you for joining. Today we are talking about the importance of having a routine in life, and how to build a productive routine. So you are very welcome to chat with me in the comments, and or through the chat in this live, and I would be really happy to answer your questions. Hello. How's it going? How's the weekend going? Oh man, I don't have a lot of battery left on my phone. So I'm going to be live till the battery drains out. Hello. What is going on? Thank you for joining. As soon as people are joining, they're leaving. That's the struggle of starting a YouTube channel. Initially, you won't see like a lot of success. You need to be like really extraordinary to to like gain a lot of subscriber in the first few months. I have been on YouTube for over a year now, and I begun with uploading long form content once a week, and through that I was able to gain around 400 plus subscribers. I used to do weekly polls as well. I find that idea to be quite fun. It's very engaging. A lot of people engage over my polls. They are very like, I find them fun. Like I would engage in these kind of polls, um, and it has been a good journey, I would say. But uh, like after spending more than a year doing what I did, like uploading once a week the long form content, I thought that I can optimize that process because shooting a video and then editing it, it took a lot of my time. And I thought that I could just be live during that time. But the thing with live is that it's just like you're speaking candidly in front of a camera. Sometimes there are people, sometimes there is none. For example, there is no one right now, and I'm just talking to myself, and it can get a little intimidating. As of now, it's a bit intimidating for me, a bit embarrassing, but here I am. No shame, no embarrassment, or I'm trying my best not to be embarrassed. YouTube has also become a part of my routine. Um, and it it does take a lot of my time. So yeah, I'm just trying to be good at it. I'm just trying to be good at YouTube. And I'm just trying to be good at creating content. I'm not a pro in that matter. Um, I'm clearly not an influencer. Um, I I'm not one of those who likes to promote her content or likes to go after people and ask them to like, subscribe, share. I don't do any of that. So I'm definitely not an influencer. I'm just trying to be myself here, I guess. Um, and I'll see how it goes. I believe that people like me on YouTube, they don't really get a lot of success. Like, I'm not sure if they do. Um, but yeah, all I have to do is just be consistent with it, even if I'm not getting any engagement at all. It can be a bit demotivating because you put so much time and effort into something and you see no results. Uh, but you just gotta keep going. That's the power of a routine as well, because routines, like a productive routine, it creates a habit, and I am trying to make a habit out of creating content. So even if I don't get any engagement on YouTube for, like, let's say 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, I'll still keep doing this. Because somewhere I believe that I will become successful someday. So I don't know. Just trying my best. Hello, hello, good morning, good evening, good day. How are you doing today? What's going on? See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, I saw someone join and then that person left, and now it's zero audience. YouTube is getting testy with me. But it's okay. I mean, we all have to give ourselves some credit for trying, even if we're not getting any success. Like, I think it's important that we pat ourselves on the back for trying something new. even if we are not successful at it. I think we should give ourselves some credit for at least trying a new thing. My hair are not hearing today. Oh, for someone who is watching this video after this has been uploaded, and if you're someone who is struggling to create a productive routine in life, a tip for you would be to start small. Um, for example, let's say you're a student who aims to study, say, 4 hours a day, every day. That's a habit that you want to build, that's a routine that you want to create for yourself. So, I would say start with maybe 5 minutes a day. That's all you have to do. Just 5 minutes of study a day. Or let's say if you want to create a routine where you want to, let's say, invest your time in fitness. So I would say start very small. Start with like 5 to 10 minutes every day. And then gradually increase the intensity of whatever it is that you like want to do in your routine, like the major part of your routine. Before that, I would suggest identify what's that one major thing that you're setting your routine for. So, if your goal is to pass your exams and you want to set a routine for yourself where you're studying 4 to 5 hours a day, so the core around which your routine revolves is study, right? So I would say start with that core of your routine. Identify what's the core of your routine. What are those like one or two things that are a core part of your routine? Is it fitness? Is it study? Is it, building a skill? So identify that first. So identify the core of your routine and then start, you know, doing that activity for, let's say, 5 minutes a day or 10 minutes a day. And then, like, let's say after a week, increase it to, let's say, 7 minutes a day or 12 minutes a day or 15 minutes a day, and increase the time and the intensity of your activity very gradually so that it becomes a habit for you. So yeah, that's one tip that I can give you if you are struggling with establishing a routine. Once you set the core of your routine, once you become good at doing that, everything else will follow. Your meals, your sleep schedule, your the time where you just want to relax, and time with family, time with friends, everything will fall into place once you have identified the core of your routine, the core activities of your routine, and then you have started to, um, build that habit of doing that core activity of your routine. So, yeah, because that's how I did it. For me, it was fitness basically. I did not have a good routine before I got into fitness. So once I got into fitness, no matter what I was doing throughout the day, I made sure that 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. is the time for my MMA classes. So, for those who don't know, I started my fitness journey with MMA. I used to go attend MMA classes, and 4 to 5 was the time for those classes. So, no matter the time that I slept, the time that I woke up, the time that I had my breakfast, the time that I did whatever, that 4 to 5 p.m. of my day was booked for my MMA class, and I made sure that from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. I am at that MMA class and learning the MMA skills. And then later it became 4 to 5 p.m. of MMA class, followed by 5 to 6 p.m. of gymming. So that's how I firstly established a core part of my routine, which was fitness, and then expanded on it slowly. So 4 to 5 p.m. of MMA, I did that for around 9 months. And when I became good at it, when I developed the strength, the capacity, the stamina for that physical activity, I extended that to the gym as well. So once I extended it, um, now I had like 2 hours that I had to dedicate, no matter what day it was, or no matter what my schedule was, or no matter whatever I was doing throughout the day. And then once those 2 hours got fixed, everything else started falling into place. I made sure that I'm sleeping well because sleep provided me energy for the next day. I made sure that I'm eating well. Gradually, I started cooking my own meals because um, once you get into fitness and once you get into the nutrition aspect of it, you cannot expect anyone else to cook for you, because you become very specific about the nutrition that you want to have, and your mom or your dad, they cannot really cook all of that for you. So I started cooking my own meals, so I made sure that I'm taking some time to cook my own meals. Then I had my job as well, so I made sure that all of the things that I'm doing outside of my job, they are not affecting my job or my job performance. So that's why I had to create a routine, and everything started falling into place eventually. Once I established the core part of my routine, that was fitness. So, yeah, my meals started falling into place, my sleep started falling into place, my job, my work. I made sure that I'm dedicating enough time for those things as well. And that's how, a routine got established, like on its own. I didn't really have to do much. I just had to focus on each element one by one, and made sure that like it was like a jigsaw puzzle for me personally. So I just had to make sure that I'm like taking a piece and I'm fitting it well within that puzzle picture, like piece by piece. I'm putting it all together. So yeah, that's how my routine got established, piece by piece. It took me time to establish a productive routine. It took me about 7 to 8 months. So the first 7 to 8 months were very rocky, because I was not used to the concept of having a routine, and it took a little getting used to first. So initially the 7 to 8 months, they were not as consistent, so I used to you know uh, lose focus from my routine, which is completely fine, it's completely okay. You shouldn't bash yourself up for losing focus from your routine every once in a while. It happens, we all are humans, we are not like machines. So that happened with me for like 7 to 8 months, and after that I got good at following my own routine. So yeah, if you ever find yourself slipping from your routine, don't bash yourself up for it. We always have a tomorrow. Um, hopefully. We always get to see a tomorrow, and we always can fix things tomorrow. So it's fine if you fall off your routine, if you fall off the bandwagon for a day or for 2 days or even for a week. It's fine. That's actually what makes you realize the value of your own routine. Once you fall off the bandwagon, and when you're off it, that's when you actually start missing your routine. And that's actually when you realize that, hey, my routine is very valuable for me because it's making me productive. And now that I'm off my routine, I'm not productive anymore. So I need to get back on my routine. So falling off the bandwagon, I would say it's actually necessary, at least initially. Oh my god, what is up with my hair today? I'm not liking my hair very much. I'm thinking whether I have anything else to share about routines. Oh, there is a downside to routines as well, I feel. Um, Routines can feel like chains sometime. That's the downside of it. So there are, like I mentioned previously, there is an upside. Like there are many upsides to a routine. It makes you feel productive, it makes you feel in control, it makes you feel in charge. um, you feel your life very systematically arranged and everything. But the downside to it is that routines can chain you, routines can restrict you, they can build walls around you. So once you get good at following a routine, it would be very, very hard for you to break away from that routine every once in a while, and you would feel very stuck in your own life. So sometimes life starts feeling like a prison. Um, and that's not a good feeling, to be very honest. And that is why sometimes a break is also needed for, like, from a routine. Like, too much of anything can be toxic. So, yeah, too much of following a routine can also be toxic for you in the long run. So, you need to make sure that you are flexible enough to break away from that routine every once in a while, not always, but every once in a while, and just enjoy life as it goes, go with the flow sometimes as well. So, yeah, that's also equally important, to go with the flow of life. Not always, but yeah, sometimes. That's what I feel personally. Sometimes when I feel like, going somewhere or traveling or just hitting the road, it's almost impossible for me to do because I have to go to the gym. Where will I eat? How will I cook? Who is going to look after my work? So, all of that has chained me, I feel. I just cannot just pack my stuff up and leave because I'm like, oh man, how am I going to hit the gym if I just take a break from my routine? So yeah, that's a dilemma I face whenever I want to break away from my routine. Um, yeah, it's not always a good thing, I feel. So I need to incorporate some level of flexibility as well so that I can, like, every once in a while, I can break away from my routine and just breathe, just enjoy life. Hello, hello. What's up? What's going on? How is your Saturday going? Prep for interview. Oh, are you prepping for an interview? Well, all the very best for that. One tip that I can give you for an interview is that it's a two-way street. As much as the interviewer wants to know about you, you must also be equally curious to know about the company and, the culture of the company, I would say. So, yeah, because whenever I am prepping for interview, this kind of mindset really helps me a lot with those jitters and all that nervousness. And so I tell myself that it's a conversation, it's not an exam. So you're talking to someone, and as much as they want to know about you, you also want to know about the company that you want to work for. And trust me, knowing, like, getting into an interview with that level of mindset um, will help you judge which company is actually good for you, because you are the one who is going to dedicate your time, your energy, your resources, your mind to that company, and it's very valuable. Like, your time, your mind, your energy, it's a very valuable thing. And so I would say, don't go with that mentality where you're just begging or you're the one who is asking for it, because you have a lot to provide as well, and you should value that about yourself in an interview, especially. So yeah, all the best for your interview, and I hope that it goes well. I hope I was able to ease some of that interview anxiety for you. Oh. Hey, no problem. That is completely fine. I have been here for like 41 minutes now. And you are the first person who commented. I was talking about importance of routine and how to set a productive routine for yourself. So um, yeah, I spoke about a lot of things. So yeah, whenever you get the time, you can come back on this channel. You don't have to subscribe. You can just, like, if you're interested, you can just watch the video again once I upload it and I make it public. So yeah, that would be great. I think I should do another live for interview prep, or like how to approach interviews. I feel it's very important because like majority of my audience is like very young, and most of them are like sitting for interviews or are freshers or yet to find a job. And I have had like around more than 8 years of experience in IT industry in India, and I think that I can share some valuable stuff with my audience. Yeah, I will definitely make sure to discuss the interview topic as one of the topics in one of my lives for sure. The main issue I've been facing is I fumble a lot and the fluency is missing when I'm speaking or explaining any technical things. Oh, yeah, that happens. That used to happen with me too. Um, and a good way to, reduce the fumbling is take pauses when you are speaking. So, like right now, if you see me talking, I am doing a lot of like this, that. During interviews, if you take some time to pause and not say or like this, like that, stuff like that, just fumbled words. So first thing would be to take a pause, like speak slow, don't rush, because we tend to fumble when we are rushing our response. We think that there is no time in the interview, and the more information we provide to the interviewer, the more impressed the interviewer will become. We go with that kind of mindset, and that is why we rush our response and we fumble. So one tip I would give you is speak slowly, because when you speak slowly, you have some time to think before speaking. Take pauses so that you can think before speaking. Take a deep breath if you're feeling nervous. It's okay to take a deep breath in front of the interviewer as well. There's no harm, there's no foul in doing that. So, yeah, first thing would be that. And second thing I would say is a long term thing, and that is practicing. So, before you go to an interview, uh, and especially the technical stuff that you know already. And if you're sure that those technical questions will be asked in an interview, make sure that you are practicing. Like, you don't have to mug them up. You just have to, like, do bulleting in your mind. So bulleting is basically a practice where you know the key points, the key terms that you have to speak in an interview. Like, you already remember those, and you just have to expand on those key terms when you are speaking real time. So yeah, second thing would be practice. And practice in a way where you know the key terms, like where you remember the key terms about your technical stuff, and then in the interview you are just expanding on those key terms. That helps a lot. I think I even made a video on communication skills in interviews. So, if you go to my content, you will find a video like on communication skills. I believe there are two videos that I did. One was around communication, like in daily life that we have with our friends, family, etc., etc. And then one was around communication in professional setting, or when we're facing interviews. Like, I it was a long time ago. I think it was 6 or 7 months ago, so I don't really remember. But yeah, you'll find some content related to communication skills and how to build communication in my channel. So I hope that is helpful for you. Oh, and you know what? Take some water with you to the interview. Keep drinking water. It keeps you hydrated, and you need that in an interview, trust me. Where are you from? Are you from India, or are you from somewhere from, like, somewhere around the world? Oh, India, West Bengal. Awesome. I am from Maharashtra. Like, currently I'm living in Maharashtra, but I was born and brought up in the northern part of India. So yeah. Is this your first interview? Or uh, like, what I mean to ask is that, are you a fresher, or are do you have some experience with interviews, or do you have like a job experience? That's what I'm trying to ask. I'm working as a fresher. Okay. So the thing with interviews with freshers is that I am assuming that you have like maybe 1 to 2 years of experience or like under a year of experience. In that case, trust me, the interviewers are not really expecting you to be an expert. So you don't have to go with that mindset that you know everything. Okay? Because if you go with that mindset, trust me, you're pressuring yourself a lot. Don't go with that mindset, because the interviewer is not expecting you to be an expert in any field, since you are a fresher and since you are also learning. And so it's completely okay to just say, I don't know, but I am willing to learn. Like, don't stop at I don't know. If you're asked a question and you don't know the answer to it, you don't have to beat around the bush, because that basically shows the interviewer that you are wasting the interviewer's time. And some interviewers, they find it disrespectful. So don't do that. Don't try to beat around the bush. Don't try to like act smart, I would say. I know you won't, but just in case, because we become so nervous, we become so anxious that we do it subconsciously, that we try to just find an answer while we're speaking. It's completely okay, but trust me, you don't need to do that. You can just tell the interviewer that you don't know, but you don't stop at that answer. You add to that since I am beginning my career journey, I know I have a lot to learn, and I am willing to learn as much as I can. This is a learning experience. So once you say that, that shows that you're honest. Firstly, you are not wasting the interviewer's time by beating around the bush. So you're respectful of the interviewer's time. And thirdly, um, you are curious and you are willing to learn. And that's what, like, good companies really appreciate that. Good companies won't appreciate how big of an expert you are or how much do you know. Good companies actually look for that quality of willingness in a person, like how willing is the person to learn new things. So yeah, um, that's another takeaway that you can have from this live. I have been into IT for like 8 years, more than 8 years, and trust me, nobody really cares about how big of an expert you are. What people do care about in IT, especially, is how quickly do you learn? How, like, how quick is your mind to catch new things, to learn new things? That is something that is very appreciated in IT. That is something that makes you irreplaceable in IT. If you have like a quick wit, a quick mind, if you're a quick learner, basically, you become irreplaceable. How can I show them that I am a good learner and curious? Well, that's a great question. Um, I am, but how to convey them? Yeah, I get that. And that takes time to convey, to be very honest. You can convey it through your actions, you can convey it in meetings. Like, I'm talking about once you are in a job and not during an interview. An interview is just a 1 or 2 hour conversation, and you cannot really show everything about yourself in an interview. You can show your curiosity through words. You can like literally tell them that I am a quick learner, I'm curious, and I'm in my learning phase already, I'm young, blah blah blah. But in a 1 hour interview, you cannot really show that through your actions, it's just through words. But I'm talking about once you are in a job and how to grow from the job that you currently have, and that is through your actions. Like in meetings, a lot of times it happens that we are like, I'm just taking a small example here. A lot of times it happens that if we have counterparts in, let's say, another country which is outside of India, let's say we have counterparts in the UK or in the US or in the Netherlands or some other country whose primary language is not Hindi, and if it's English, sometimes things can be misunderstood very quickly. And this is just a very small example. Um, if in those meetings with those counterparts, if you are able to merely understand them correctly, that's what shows your, you know, how quick of a learner you are. That shows how sharp minded you are, because they're trying to say something in an accent, especially, and sometimes accent can be so hard to understand. Um, and if you're able to overcome those challenges and just merely understand them, just merely decode them, or maybe like if they gave a half an hour speech and you are just able to identify the crux of that speech, like what exactly is their point, what's the point that they're trying to make, just that will show you, like, just doing just that will set you apart in IT. Trust me, I have worked for like 8+ years, and in our meetings with counterparts from the US, a lot of people are just not able to merely understand what they're trying to say. They're like, we are so used to our own mother tongue that, like, the majority of people in IT, it's very hard for them to understand the point that the other person is trying to make. So yeah, that's one small example. Another small example would be how willing you are to take new projects. So let's say there is some new work that comes for your team, or there's some new work that comes in your queue. How willing you are to face it head on and not fear it. So if there's a new project, there's a new opportunity, a lot of people, especially people who are freshers, they fear or they shy away from it because they feel that they are not skilled enough to lead that project. But I would say, honestly, whenever a new project comes in the queue, no one really is that skilled. Everyone is learning with time. It doesn't really matter if you're a fresher or if you're like experienced. It does matter to some extent, but when a task is like completely new for everyone, you all get on the same page, even if you have like 1 year of experience or if you have like 8 or 9 years of experience. So everyone is at the same page with a new task. So how fearless are you to learn about that new task or to lead that new task, for that matter, is something that shows that you're smart. So yeah, conveying them this thing takes time. It does take a lot of time. But it doesn't mean that it's impossible to convey it to them. You just need to find opportunities to convey this through your actions. I would say. Well, I hope you had your dinner. One last question for the day. What is the difference between internal and client project? I know basic difference. Okay. So, now that you mentioned that there is a client, so client is basically for, oh, what was the term? I forgot the term. Yeah, like service based IT industries. So there are two things basically: product based companies and service based companies. So service based companies are the companies that sell their services, okay, and product based companies are the companies that sell products, like the products that they make in their company, they sell the product. So with service based company, there is the concept of client project and internal project. So, because when you are selling a service, you are selling a service to a client of yours. Whenever you are selling a product, you are selling a product to a customer. So, product based companies have customers and service based companies have clients. That's the basic difference. Like that's how you can categorize IT industry into two major domains: service based, product based. Service based have clients, product based have customers. Now I have worked for both service based and product based company. So in a service based company, like I mentioned, you are selling a service to a client, right? So a client project is basically a service based company having a deal or an agreement with a client. So let's take example of Wipro. Wipro is a service based company. So Wipro has a lot of clients. Wipro may have like banks, like let's take an example of a bank. So let's say American Express is a client of theirs. Okay, American Express is a bank. Um, and so the relationship between Wipro and American Express is that of a service provider and a client. So whatever work that you are doing for that client as a service provider is that comes under the category of a client project. You have to directly deal with the client while you are providing a service to that client. It can be any service. Let's say it can be a service of maintaining their infrastructure, maintaining their servers, maintaining their data, maintaining their workstations, making sure that the antivirus on their workstation is up to date, stuff like that, you know. So once you are doing that, that would be a client project where you are providing a service to a client which is outside of your company. Okay. And the other thing is internal project. Internal project is something that you are doing within the company itself. So Wipro as a company will have many internal projects. One example of an internal project would be, let's say, maintaining an antivirus on Wipro's computers, or maintaining the data center of Wipro itself, or you know, let's say maintaining physical security within the company premises. So all of that, whatever you are doing within the company environment, that is basically the internal project. So when you hear internal project, there is no client relationship involved. It's within the company for the company. And when there is a client project, whenever someone says client project, that means that there is a relationship involved with an external client, and a service based company is providing some form of service to that client, and that comes under that, providing the provision of that service comes under the client project. I hope I was able to explain that to you. I hope you got the difference. Is one better than other? Not necessarily, I would say. Not necessarily. It can be, depending on the kind of service that you are providing to the client. If, let's say, the service is that of developing an application for them, that is a great work to do. Like, and it also depends on your interest, like what exactly interests you as a person. So let's say if it's application development or coding, and if you are doing some coding work for the client, you are developing an application for the client that that client will use, and you like that kind of work, that would be better for you personally. But then if there is an in-house application that you need to develop within, let's say, your own company, taking an example of Wipro has its own internal applications as well, which it does not sell to any client, right? So if you are in a project which is which suits your expertise or your skill set, that would be better for you personally. So it depends on the kind of work that we do for the client, and the kind of work that we do within the company, and which one feels more valuable to you personally. So the important thing will be where I am learning more. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Absolutely. If learning, like, if a project gives you more exposure, it can be a client project, it can be an internal project. If a project requires you to collaborate with a lot of other teams, if a project requires you to use your mind, use your skill set, and not do redundant work, because a lot of projects are that way, that they require you to do a lot of redundant work, which is just repetitive work, again and again and again, the same work, and there is no learning involved in that. And a lot of client projects have that kind of work, because clients, they do not trust like a service based industry to deal with a lot of their important stuff. So they just give, kind of like unimportant work on the side. They assign those to service based industries, because I have had that experience. And like, client projects, they are mostly redundant work. So not all client projects, I would say, but like most of them. So yeah, you are right when you say that, a project which is giving you more exposure, it's giving you more learning, it's giving you like new stuff to learn about, and not redundancy, that's the project for you. And it doesn't matter if it's a client project or if it's an internal project, you should definitely go for projects where you're getting to learn more, or where you're getting to even collaborate more, for that matter. because like once you leave like your current company and try to switch gears, try to find a job in another company, what would happen is that they won't look at the project that you have worked in. They won't look whether it was a client project or internal project. What they would actually look for is your skill set. Like, what did you learn? What exactly did you do in a company? And what did you learn? So that's what people will look for. Anyway, I hope I was able to answer your questions, and I'll keep coming live and I'll keep answering everyone's questions, or be there to listen to them, because my battery my phone battery is about to die. So I gotta end this live here. Thank you so much for joining, everyone who joined and watched this video after it was uploaded. All the best for your interview. I really hope that you crack the interview and you get into a good company that values you as a person and values your time and efforts. Wishing you all the best, and I will be seeing you soon. You take care till then, and bye bye.